Everyone, so I'm here to do my labor and delivery story finally. I'm so sorry it's taken me so long to get this video put up, but I've just been so busy with my two little boys. My oldest son, Colton, is sleeping right here on the couch beside me, and then I've got little Hudson that's awake over here. He's awake like a lot of the day now, and he's just so sweet and precious. But anyway, so this is going to be his labor and delivery story. He was born on March 14th at 8:15 a.m., weighing in at 8 pounds, 8 ounces, and 20 inches long. So he was a good-sized boy when he was born. And I went into labor a few days before my scheduled C-section. I had a scheduled C-section on March 18th. My due date was March 22nd, and my C-section was scheduled for March 18th, but he came on March 14th. And that was also while my gynecologist was out of town, which I was really sad about because I really like my gynecologist that I had this time around. So I had somebody else deliver him, Dr. Daniels, and I'm actually really pleased with how everything came out. He was a really great doctor. He did an awesome job. I had a really good recovery, and so I'm really thankful that even though I couldn't have my doctor, I was able to have another really good doctor. So that was really awesome. And I went into labor at about 4:30 in the morning, and it woke me up. I felt really sick, and my stomach was cramping really bad with contractions. And I tried to roll over and roll to the other side and get comfortable, and it just wasn't going away. So I went up and went to the bathroom, and I downloaded the little contraction timer app and started timing these intense pains that I was having, and they were 5 minutes apart, but only 5 minutes apart for about 2 contractions, and then they moved to 2 to 4 minutes apart. And then I lost a little tiny bit of my mucus plug. The contractions were so painful and so close together. I thought for sure I was gonna my water would break before I got to the hospital, because the hospital that I was going to was about an hour away from our house, and so I thought for sure that my water was going to break because the contractions were so strong and so close together. But my water didn't break, and I only lost a tiny bit of my mucus plug. So then we headed to the hospital. I started labor around 4:30, and then we left for the hospital about just before 6 o'clock in the morning. And thank God for my mother-in-law, Chris's mom, because she was here to help watch Colton, and that was just so great. That was my biggest stress with Hudson coming early, was that we wouldn't have somebody to take care of Colton, because if you guys don't know, we do not have any family out here that lives close to us. So I was really concerned as to what we were going to do with Colton, but thank God she was here. She actually was not scheduled to come out until I believe the 16th, but she ended up changing her flight at the last minute, and thank God she did, because she was here to help us, and she was such a big help. And so we headed to the hospital. Yeah, we went to the hospital and having painful contractions, huh? Yeah. And just one thing to note, my labor with this little guy was extremely painful. My labor with Colton, I mean, it hurt, but it wasn't that bad, and it was nothing compared to my labor with this little guy. My contractions hurt so bad. I feel like I have a pretty good tolerance for pain, and with my labor with Colton, I was just very quiet. I didn't scream at all. I didn't yell. I didn't get upset. And I typically don't. I'm just typically really quiet whenever I'm having contractions or a lot of pain. But this time I screamed so loud because it hurt so bad. So I was like screaming the whole way to the hospital, because they were every 2 minutes and they were extremely painful. It was an hour drive. And so then we finally got there, and it was, the nurse that I had was really kind of not very considerate, and I really liked the anesthesiologist because he was really nice, but he wasn't very considerate either of my pain level, because both of them were sticking me with needles and things while I was having contractions, while I was like in the peak of my contraction, and they were both would not shut up. They just kept talking to me and asking me questions, and I'm like having these intense contractions and in so much pain, and I just wanted to tell them to shut up, but I didn't. But it was like they seriously, like I said, they wouldn't shut up and they wouldn't stop while I was in the middle of my contraction. They just kept going about their business and just trying to get everything done. And I just wish they would have been a little bit more considerate, but oh well, what can you do? So anyways, backtracking a little bit, whenever I got there, I had to wait for a while, but then she finally came in and checked me for dilation, and she said, okay, well, as long as you're 3 centimeters or more, we'll keep you, and you'll definitely have your baby today, because I have to have a C-section. And so she went ahead and checked me, and that was like the most painful check for dilation I've ever had. Oh my goodness, it hurt so bad. Oh, yeah, it hurt. I don't know. I don't know if it was just like partly her or like just like the whole situation, because whenever she went to check me, I started having another contraction. So the whole time that she was checking me, I was contracting and it hurt so bad. And so again, no consideration for my pain. She's just like, just breathe through it, honey. It's gonna be fine. Just breathe through it. I'm like, shut up and get your hand out of me, please. But I didn't say that, but I was in so much pain. But anyway, so I was 6 centimeters dilated, and so I was definitely staying. And then they had the anesthesiologist come in, and it took him maybe about another half an hour after that to come in. And I was so grateful to see him, because finally he put me out of my misery and my pain. And then not long after, I got wheeled into the surgery room. I believe the doctor came in and talked to me for a brief minute before it, but I was in so much pain and there was so many people asking me questions. Honestly, I don't even really remember meeting the doctor that was going to be delivering this little guy. I remember him saying that he's done a lot of C-sections before and that I was in good hands, but that's about all I remember from him. I don't remember what he looked like or anything. And it's funny because after I had him and he came in to see us and talk to us, I had no idea who he was because I hadn't really seen him. I was just, like I said, it was just kind of, everything went so quickly and everybody was asking me questions, and I don't even remember like looking him in the eyes. I just remember a couple things that he said. And then we went in for the surgery, and he was born. I'm not sure how long I was in surgery. I want to say I was in there for probably at least a good 30 minutes, if not an hour, with the whole thing from start to finish. But everything went really, really well. This time was so much better than my first one was. If you guys would be interested in Colton's labor and delivery story, I can go ahead and do a video on that too. I won't really get into it, but my recovery and everything with him was much harder. But anyways, during this C-section, I was awake. I was just numb, and everything went really well. It was kind of peaceful, which is really weird to like say, but it was a peaceful experience. And Chris was by my side, and as much as I'd hoped to be able to have a natural birth, I couldn't have asked for a better C-section. So I'm really, really grateful. And we had he came out. I felt like it took forever to me to get him out, because I'm just sitting there, I was waiting, and I was like just fully alert and everything. Like with my first C-section, I was so out of it. I was so drugged up. I had been in labor for like 18 or 20 hours before I even went into my C-section, and I was really tired, and so I felt like that one went much quicker, probably just because I was just completely out of it. But this one, I wasn't as much, so it felt like it took so long to get him out. And I just wanted to see him. He's so cute. But I heard him come out, and then it took like another 20 minutes before I got to see him. I just wanted to see him because they, took him and cleaned him off and everything. He was perfectly healthy, nothing wrong or anything, but they cleaned him off, and then they brought him over, and Chris was holding him, and I couldn't touch him or anything because my arms are strapped down and all that stuff, which is, that's my least favorite part about a C-section, is you can't have that skin-to-skin contact immediately with your baby. You have to wait. And so anyways, he laid him beside my head, and it was just, he's so precious. Like, I am so grateful for this little one. If you guys don't know, I've mentioned it in a couple of videos, but my husband and I had a really great pregnancy with Colton. But then after we had Colton, we had 2 miscarriages, and they were really, really hard. And just having a successful pregnancy and seeing his sweet little face, I'm just so grateful for him. He is just so, so precious, and I have just been enjoying him so much. So he was born 8 pounds, 8 ounces at 8:15 in the morning, absolutely perfect. And then, you know, after he was born, they took him away and gave him his first bath and all that stuff, and Chris went with him, which I was really glad that Chris got to experience that. And I really wish, like, I would have had a camera for Chris to film, like, his first bath so that I could see it and all that stuff, but we totally forgot the camera, and so I didn't get anything filmed in the hospital, which I'm really sad about. But everything went really great, and then they brought him back to me, and he breastfed right away. When I first got to hold him, he latched immediately, and it was just like, it was such a bonding experience. I don't know, it was just so great, and I was just so in love with him, and I still am. He's just so absolutely perfect, and I'm so grateful for this little boy. And I honestly, like, I can't wait to have another one already. Is that crazy to say? Like, I feel like I've already got baby fever, and my baby's only just over a month old. Like, that's ridiculous. But it's just both my boys, I just love them so much, and they're so precious. I just can't wait to have more babies. But yeah, so his delivery went really smooth. My recovery went great, and the whole time I was in the hospital, I just kept him with me, which is different from when I had Colton, because I was so numb and so out of it with Colton, because I had so many drugs in me, and I was extremely swollen, and there was just a lot of other things that did not go so great with Colton. With, like, the recovery part of the C-section, he was perfectly healthy, but the recovery part was really rough on me, and I was really out of it. I couldn't feel anything below my head, and all that stuff. I had him sent to the nursery, you know, so that I could get some rest and stuff. But with Hudson, I kept him with me as much as I possibly could, and I just loved every minute of it. Huh. Yeah. It's just so great. You're just such a great baby. Yeah. So, oh, he's holding my hair. But I'll just give you guys a little bit of an up-close view of him. So he's a little over a month old now, like I said. You're so cute, buddy. And he's doing great. Get my hair out of your hand. So this is Hudson Jet. Say hi, baby. Oh. Oh. Can you smile? Oh. You're so cute. He had more hair when he was born than he does now. He's starting to lose hair, but yeah, he's got quite a bit on the back of his head. And then he started to lose his hair at the top, which I think is kind of funny. But, yeah, you're so cute. He's got blue eyes and, like, reddish brown hair. What are you looking at? Huh? Oh. Alright, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you guys next time. Say bye, Hudson. Can you say bye? Say bye.